Yeah.
Alright. One thing for me I definitely want to harp on is that you're going your own way. I think it's awesome because now your family is your competition. Did you say that? Yes or no?
No, I mean they're 80 miles away.
Well, because I was reading some Yelp reviews and say it says this restaurant isn't as good as the other Navarrette's that I always go to. You should probably go.
So it's a little more or less of the same spices. So
Well,
we can go
you know, when a lot of the bad reviews were the first few months we were open for the most part, and everybody had these high expectations because, oh, from Sioux City, like, oh, you gotta try this. Blah, blah. I mean, people hyped it up so much where the expectations were through the roof. So I mean, I would almost need like red carpet and out for them, and I don't know, sprinkle like some sort of angel dust while they walk in or something. It was very difficult. And so me personally, I'm definitely not trying to compete with them. I mean, we're family. They're 80 miles away. We're close enough though that people know us. What's that noise?
That was my fault.
Oh, that's your fault. We're definitely close enough where people know us, but I want nothing but the best for all of them.
Well, so the family, so grandmother started this recipe. This is what she wanted for the benefit of the family at that time. Now, as it grew throughout the generations, everybody's using more or less of the same spices. So it typically is the same spices, but more or less, depending on what generation and how they want to use it, how they may want to advance. So that's kind of been a tradition through the generations so far. It's not all just one same taste, the same. So it just depends on who's taking it, where they're taking it, which location they're taking it to, what area. So it's not one solid taste the same every time. It just depends on. So Rudy here's got his own style of what he thinks people are gonna want out here in this area. So we're using more or less of the same spices. It may taste a little different than family, but it's not a competition against other family.
Yeah, and it's all my grandmother's food, and yeah, there's going to be difference between cook and cook, and then people are going to have their personal preference of the people that are working there, of the building itself. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but
And is it your grandmother who taught both you guys how to cook?
well, I learned how to make the mole and tamales from my grandmother, and the rest I learned from my dad, who learned from my mother.
Yeah, his dad's very strict. And my uncle is his dad, and I grew up working with him. So he's real strict with doing everything how his mother taught him. So that was big. That was a big for me, that I know that I learned from him, and his hand learned from her exactly to the T. So I knew that I got basically, even though she was older than me and I didn't get a chance to work with her like in the kitchen much, she would come around when I started at 13. She would come around and kind of supervise, say hi, kind of teach a little of this and a little of that about the business to the older generation. But I know that I got a solid teaching from her through her son.
Alright, so I need you guys to give me a sense. This is like, although we never went to culinary school or anything like that, talk to me about your food credentials, how confident you are in the kitchen. Just give me something like that, okay? I don't care if it's Mexican food or I can cook anything in the kitchen. And then I know I'm very
You want to go first?
Give me something like that.
All right, you'll go first.
Yeah, so coming from a single parent family and stuff like that, I've had to learn at a young age to start cooking how I want. And I started experimenting at a very young age with certain spices and different foods. And I can cook anything. I never had to go to any school. Once something that you have, it's a knack. Once you have it, you have it. Once you get it figured out at the proper age, it's something that carries with you forever. I can cook American, I can cook Italian, I can cook Mexican food, I can cook the Tex-Mex that we do. I mean, I'm just all around understand the taste and the flavor that people want. And so no need for culinary school for me. I was born with it.
Now,
Go for it, Rudy.
yeah, for myself, also single parent, and I would make myself little meals growing up, and then I always enjoyed cooking for the most part. And as I said, being around the restaurant, being in the mix of it, starting at well 8, but really at, being there, washing dishes at 10, and learning how to cook everything about like 14, and just having a sense of pride of it. And then once I started kind of cooking about 14, that's when I kind of discovered that I can just visualize what sounds good together. And then growing up with not a lot, you can take simple things out of a pantry and make it happen. Make it, make like a magical meal out of $5. So I've been there, done that. And that's how I kind of, just learn how to just what do I have and how do I make it good. And then now growing up, working with my dad now, he's kind of old school, and it wasn't like he had any formal training. So with me, with my big aspirations of having multiple restaurants, having my own restaurant, I wanted to kind of learn the society way. So I did go to school for a year in Kirkwood, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where it was culinary school, restaurant management. I went for a year, and I did learn a lot, but nothing like you do on hand. I just kind of wanted to learn the business aspects of it. But it was interesting, cooking food I never dreamt of cooking, like India food and French food, you know what I mean? And it was interesting. And then I just, with my home cooking, just sort of cook here at the restaurant, especially in the winter, we slow down, so I wind up cooking more things. My Italian's my favorite. And but I had an aunt of mine, because I was telling my aunt one time, I said, I never had rice better than mine. She said, well, that's because you cook it the way you want it. And then my grandma told me, well, if you like it, others will like it. So I've always, been, whether it's, Italian food or whatever, you name it, American food. I like to get down with some whatever steak and burgers, and I like to think it's kind of gourmet. My steak sauce is phenomenal. If I had a steakhouse, I'd know them steaks would be. But anyway, so I'm versatile, and I've thought about investing in another restaurant just because franchises are kind of easy shoe-in, and they're going to be successful, but that'd be kind of missing what my dream of having my own restaurant and possibly having more than one restaurant. That's my all-time dream, is to have multiple restaurants. And it's not about the money, it's just about just carrying on legacy success so I can help others. The more success I have, I think the bigger things I can do in the communities that I'm a part of. And I just I love it, and that's I'm thankful. And I'm from a long line of good cooks, both my mom and dad's side. My mom's grandfather had a restaurant, and then of course on my dad's side, my grandmother is my dad's mom, and then they've part of restaurants. I know my grandfather was a good cook. I'm just around good cooks. My mom's a good cook. So I've been very fortunate just to be around good cooks, and you learn a lot, and I enjoyed baking cake and whatever with my mom, you know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot.
Alright, so I love to nail down the line that it says, like, although a lot of your family members are in the restaurant industry, they have their own restaurants, you wanted to go your own pet way. You wanted to make your own pet. That's something that's yours. I really want you to say something like that, please.
Do a spin-off of, like, changing up the recipe a little bit if you have to, or you're trying to make it your
No,
own.
just regular. I could be working in my aunt's restaurant right now. I could be still with my dad.
Oh, okay,
I
yeah.
wanted my own restaurant.
Yeah.
I wanted something for myself. And
All
that's
right.
why I bought this place on my own.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my situation where I'm from is going really well, and I'm partnered with my dad, and I love my dad and everything like that. But I just wanted to do my own thing. It's funny. I know it's hard with the family or your parents, or brothers, sisters, whatever. But and I've done a lot of things that kind of irked me, and I'm sure I did the same thing. So I just was really passionate to try to get my own place, and my dream was always to get my own place. But unless you have enough money, you can't do it. So it just worked out with me and my dad, where we had a great thing going. And I just, but nonetheless, you got to start somewhere, 100% on your own. And I wanted to branch out because I thought it was too saturated where I was at. So it was between Sioux Falls and Omaha, and I chose Sioux Falls. And I'm just thankful to be here. It's a beautiful building. It's pretty much what I've always kind of dreamt of as that 15-year-old kid, to have what I have now, just a solid building, buying it, not leasing it, where, you know, if it all works out at the end of the day, I'm gonna have an awesome asset, and that will help me be able to put down payments on other restaurants, have banks confident that I'll be able to pay them back so they can borrow me money for other restaurants. And I got these big lofty goals, but it's one day at a time for at the moment.
Yeah, though. So the older generations, they're just kind of, they put in their time and effort. You know, I don't. None of them, I don't think, are looking to do anything big with the family tradition. So, you know, here's an opportunity to try to push this and try to make it nationwide, make it worldwide. You know what I mean? What we have is really good and it's unique, and so why not? Why not go for it? Why not try to do something that nobody has done in the family yet? You know, while we're still young and while we can still do what we do. You know, before our time is up and we just feel like relaxing.
All right, God, just give me one sentence that says it was our dream to go. Even though we grew up in the restaurant industry, we always wanted our own restaurant. That's why we went our own path, and that's why we're sitting here today. I like you gave me all that great stuff, and it's great background, but you still didn't give me that one soundbite that says you wanted to go your own path.
Yeah, just like, look, this is
One of them
Yeah.
are out of water, one of them steam
I
tankers.
actually want to go my own path.
passion. I've had the passion. You know, it's been my dream ever since whatever. You
My
know.
own restaurant.
Yeah.
All right, I'm trying to think how to word it real quick.
Well, you
in my
just
mind.
you were saying it kind of passionate, like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's just.
I know. I'm trying to think how to
It
word
was a little personal. It was a little personal. Just say
Right.
like, you know, I mean, this has been a dream of mine since I was little. You know what I mean? I
So-
left my family because I wanted it. You know what I mean?
So like Chase, usually when I do like these Facebook videos and stuff like that, I just speak from, you know, I just speak from the heart. So I guess I'm not used to doing anything scripted.
You're gonna be.
But
I just need that one soundbite that you what you were saying because you kind of done. Basically, what you just said before, you know, I grew up in a restaurant industry, but it's always been my dream to have my own spot. So, and that's why I always never had any like community never that's it.
all right. I'll wait till she gets done pouring this water. One of the steam tables is running low on water. I can smell it.
And you guys have been great. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I won't take up too much more of your time, but I need to just get these solid bites.
Yeah.
To make it like a nice.
Right. Well, ever since I was about 15, I always knew I wanted my own restaurant. So and I'm a doer. I'm a risk taker, and I definitely wanted to make it happen. And things went well where I'm from, and I was able to sell my half the restaurant and come up here to Sioux Falls and open up my own restaurant. And it's been awesome.
It's been a dream of Rudy's for a very long time, and I'm just a person that has the experience, and so I'm just going with the ride, and so here we are.
And now just tell me, just give me a sentence from me. I used to be a partner with my dad. We used to have split our restaurant 50-50, but I wanted to go my own way. I sold my shares in that restaurant, and now here I'm on my own.
Yeah, so I've been partners with my dad since 2004, and we had the restaurant paid off and all that. And sure, I could have waited out till you wanted to retire and then have it my own, but I want to make things happen. I want to blow up what my grandmother started, and I didn't want to wait around, so I went out and ventured on my own up here in Sioux Falls, and it's been a great experience so far, and I'm looking forward to keep on continuing it.
Perfect. That was great. Ruben, can you stop and start recording for a second? Stop it and start up, please, sir.